Today's news. Please eat. Netizens tell Yeon to eat as she loses so much weight after Squid Game.
The wildly successful Korean model and actress Yeon, made popular from the super famous Korean drama Squid Game this year on Netflix in 2021, is being told by netizens around the world that she needs to eat more food. Let's cut right to the chase. Is Yeon too skinny? Do you think she has an eating disorder? And what do you make of all this?
I don't want to comment on her weight. I don't know if she has an eating disorder, and I don't think that's any of our business. That's what I think of all of this. I honestly think that Yeon is arguably one of the hardest working, most popular, and lowest paid actresses in 2021.
Well, she does have a short resume of acting roles, so that might explain the lower salary. But I'm sure there's other factors that play into that as well. Regarding her weight, the most recent photo that was posted for this article shows her to be thinner than normal, even though she's a tall woman and has a super thin frame to start with.
Well, she's a model. They're commenting on an Instagram post that she put out of multiple photos on December 16th wearing this dress that she also wore on December 10th, where she looked arguably a little bit more, I don't want to say heavier because she looked fine. But the December 16th photo, there's no retouching, and there's also some unflattering light, and she doesn't appear to have any makeup on. All of these things make a huge difference in photos, by the way, let me just say.
The internet gives everyone a voice, and everybody can go on and comment anything they want, and so thousands upon thousands of comments saying, please eat or you're too thin, gotta eat away at somebody's soul. It isn't anybody's business, and actually, there's a lot of pressure on her from the beginning, even before she did Squid Games, because she is in fact a model. As someone who's been covering Korean dramas longer than about anybody else on the internet, how much do you think her lack of pay for this wildly popular Korean drama has played in it all into her stress level, and therefore maybe how much she may or may not be eating?
Netflix got over $860 million for the 9 episodes of Squid Game.
In revenue.
In revenue, which is a crap ton. It's the highest grossing Netflix drama of all time, considering, especially, they only paid $21.4 million for the rights to put on this.
So let's get the numbers straight. They paid $21.4 million for Squid Games in total and made $860 million in profits.
Yep.
Holy shit.
If you don't know anything about Netflix contracts, it's very different from television in general. Television in general, you would sign a contract and you'd make the show, and then you would get syndication rights for future streaming. However, Netflix, the way that it stands, they pay one fee for the initial contract, and then you don't usually get any sort of future revenue from your contract.
It's not don't usually. They don't pay out anything after the one payment. I'm very familiar with all this from the podcast that I listen to. A lot of comedians talk about how they get paid from Netflix. When their 1-hour special gets featured on Netflix, they get one check regardless of how popular or how unsuccessful their show is. And sometimes they feel like they make enough, and sometimes they feel like they're being robbed. So I can kind of see how Squid Game actors, producers, all the people that were behind the scenes maybe didn't get paid enough, and Korean actors and backstage people don't get paid enough in general.
Yeah, so Netflix did actually give them a bonus check since the release of Squid Game, which is unheard of for Netflix. However, it was a small amount. It was actually less than some actors make per episode on other dramas featured on major streaming sites. And more than anything, it's just kind of an encouragement to get Squid Games 2 to come out, because Netflix, because the real revenue isn't in the first season. The real revenue is in future seasons. However, all of these actors and actresses are killed off. So how many of them are actually going to make future revenue off of Squid Games 2?
Excellent point.
To put this into perspective, the $21.4 million that Netflix paid for Squid Games, The Crown, in comparison, has an estimated $520 million budget.
That Netflix paid to the crew and actors, etc.
Yes.
520 million to The Crown, 21 million to Squid Games.
Yeah, and Stranger Things, another popular Netflix show, they get paid $300 million to make that show. Asian Pacific content, just in the broad spectrum, Asian Pacific content has only been allotted $700 million between the years of 2015 to 2022 on Netflix. And this covers at least 80 different pieces of content.
80 different shows, so not 80 different episodes, 80 different shows with hundreds and hundreds of episodes.
Yes. There was actually a report called the Deloitte Report that actually surveyed the different dramas that were popular on Netflix in 2020. And they said, according to their study, 10 K-dramas and 2 movies were actually in the top 100 most watched shows globally. Korean dramas are bringing a lot of revenue to Netflix, and they're not necessarily getting it back.
What was the thing that you were telling me last night when we chatted about this, about the director having medical issues?
Yes, so the director
of Squid Games?
Hwang Dong-hyuk, that is the name of the director, who is also the writer. In his trying to do this, by the way, this guy, his net worth to this day is about $5 million. Only about $5 million.
Yeah, I wish my net worth was only $5 million.
Yeah, but if you're the writer and the director of the most popular show in the world, don't you think he'd have a little bit more money?
I get it.
The stress level for him to actually make this drama caused him to lose 6 different teeth.
Oh my God. I shouldn't be laughing, but that's just so ridiculous.
It is. Going back to the actual pay of these actors, so yes, they had $21.4 million for the entire show. Well, how did that get broken up? Well, according to the actors, the highest paid actor on Squid Games was Jung, number 456.
Yeah.
The taxi driver. Yeah, you remember him.
Yeah.
He was the highest paid actor for Squid Games. He made approximately $2.2 million. And this...
he got 10% of the entire nut. He was really good.
This made him the second highest paid actor in Korea.
All of these actors didn't receive enough. They deserve everything that they got paid and more. I mean, that's how good the drama was.
The next highest paid actor, he made like $232,000 for the entire series. So like there's a huge jump down from Jung to the number two.
And so that means Jung Ho-yeon made even less than 200 grand for her role. And this catapulted her to literally like the top spot in popularity for Korean actresses.
Do you want to guess how much she made?
Less than 100 grand?
Yes.
Keep going down?
Keep going down.
How much?
So she went on record to say that she made a couple $100,000 Taiwanese dollars per episode. So when they actually put that into perspective and like did the math and tried to configure it, she made around, this is a high estimate, around $65,000
US
for all 9 episodes.
Oh my gosh. I absolutely cannot believe that Jung Ho-yeon made only $65,000 US approximately for her entire role in the most popular Korean drama ever to air in the history of Korea.
It's pretty shocking. The upside, though, is it's opened up her modeling career again, and she's got all these opportunities. She just landed a deal working as a model for Calvin Klein.
Saw that on her Instagram. She looked super hot in Calvin Klein undies.
But she's still dealing with some issues since Squid Game came out. She did say that after it aired, she lost about 6 pounds because of like losing herself. It's hard for her to distance herself from her role. She may have been dabbling in method acting, that is to be speculated, but all of this is a lot for a person to process.
Comments, you guys. What do you think of Jung Ho-yeon? What do you think of Squid Games? Did you watch it? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? For me personally, as a Korean drama, I didn't actually register it in my own mind as a drama. After editing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Korean drama videos that you wrote and that we produced together, it seems like an elevated version of a Korean product that doesn't really fall into the drama category, even though of course it is a drama. Too many people died in this drama for me to think it was a drama.
You clearly haven't watched enough like other alternative Korean
Maybe.
dramas.
I suppose you're right. There wasn't enough romance for me to think it was a Korean drama. I connect like super heavy romance with, oh, that's a Korean drama, and this was like, you know, they were killing each other off.
Okay, fans, in the comments, make a list of the most gruesome Korean dramas that you know of for Richard.
Thank you so much for watching. Click the like button, comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more Hollyback news, and thank you so much for supporting us here at Hollyback. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, and all that stuff. That's it, we're out of here. Hasta luego!
Bye! Can I read some quotes?
Sure.
Okay, so different things that we know that she may have been a method actress from. She wrote in a diary to better understand her, and here's some quotes from different interviews. I'd almost say that I physically accumulated all of her experiences to express her character, on top of learning martial arts and dialect lessons. Another quote, every time I'm in front of the camera, this is modeling or acting, I feel like all my traumas are exposed. And the final quote that I have, there's a greater stress about having to prove myself, but I can still enjoy the process because so much love is coming my way.
Can you just explain what method acting is for someone who might not be familiar with it?
That's when you take on that person, like you become that person.
The character that you're playing is literally what you're doing when the camera's not rolling.
Absolutely. Like Lady Gaga in the new Gucci movie, she said she talked in an Italian accent for 6 months before she started filming.
I did that once when Italian exchange students came over for a 2-week when I was in high school. I literally changed the way I spoke in English to, hello, how are you? Oh, yeah, I like your jean jacket. I don't know.
Well, that's not quite method acting, but you're a weirdo. That's all that means.